Yo, what is up? It is your boy BDTAthletics back at it with the start of a little series that I'm going to be doing, hopefully doing either monthly or bi-monthly, depending on how good the fights are going that month. It's going to be a combat sports roundup. We're going to be hitting boxing. We're going to be hitting MMA. Uh, I say MMA because a big PFL card, big one card, something of that nature. One doesn't really do MMA that much anymore. Big card, something of that nature, I'll hit it as well. And boxing obviously isn't so much promotion based as it is in MMA. So we're going to hit big fights there as well. So I was a little bit later than I had planned. I had planned to get here before the White House card. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off, we're going to go back in time to about that time in both sports, about June 13th, 14th. Then we're just going to recap those. Not too much time on that. Then we're going to hit for this upcoming weekend. We're going to spend some time on that. Go a little bit in the future to about the start of August because that's when I'm planning to do the next roundup. So let's go ahead and get this started. White House recap. I mean, what's there to say that hasn't been said about Justin Gaethje? Absolutely beating the odds in every way, shape, and form. I didn't even really see a path to victory unless he like just somehow one shot at him. Nah, he beat him down. I mean, Ilya looked he just did, his game plan wasn't there at all. I mean, once again, I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but the round two he looked like himself, but other than that, he just kind of was getting touched up with that left hand of Gaethje, whether it was the jab, uh, him grabbing that collar tie or grabbing the single leg into that uppercut. I mean, he was looking fantastic. You know, that's it. Cyril gone. What I mean, he's such a good striker. I mean, made Alex Pereira look slow as all get out. Back of the head shots obviously happened, but you know they're not going to do anything about it. So it's hard to spend excessive time on it. Some of them were legal, some of them were not. It is what it is. Unfortunately, Cyril Gane just looked like the superior fighter to me, with or without that. So I think I think he wins no matter what. So I think Cyril Gane versus Tom Aspinall 2 is the most anticipated fight at heavyweight since Cormier Miocic 2, probably. Maybe Ngannou Miocic 2 or something like that. Who knows how that's going to go? I mean, holy cow. I can't wait to pick that when it's coming out. O'Malley stunting on Zahabi. I mean, that was very predictable, unfortunately, for Zahabi. He's a guy he's a hustler. He wants it, but he's just not athletically talented, not even close to the level of an O'Malley or something. So he's not winning that fight, unfortunately for him. So he's not done though. He'll still win some fights in his career. He'll be a top 15 fighter for a little while longer for sure. Josh Hokett. Doesn't matter if I don't like the guy. He can sure fight his ass off. Excited to see who he's fighting next. I don't know if it's been announced. Not sure. I'd assume not. Yeah, not yet. But he was talking about he wanted to get another fight in. And Derek Lewis, unfortunately, he's just kind of washed. Hopefully, for his sake, he gets just a retirement fight in against the bum. He can knock him out, sail off into the sunset. He's a legend in his own right. So, respect to him. Mauricio Huffy, very predictable to get rid of Chandler in that fashion. I mean, I didn't expect the spinning kicks as much, but Chandler's got nothing for him, similar to Zahabi, but Chandler's just washed is the difference. Bo Nickel made it look easy. The risk there was if he was off his game, he didn't really if he hadn't fixed that, and I don't want to say fix that because you can't really fix it, but that willingness to fight even after getting clipped a bit, he didn't get clipped at all. He just took care of business against Dawkins. So fair play to him. And Diego Lopez kind of got beat up for about 7 minutes of that fight, and then he clipped Garcia, got him out of there because Garcia decided to brawl instead of regain his composure on the back foot. He decided to brawl. Lopez got him out of there because he's filthy. So fair play to him as well. I heard they're talking about him going up to 155, maybe challenging Charles Oliveira. I mean, that would be a ton of fun. I don't see him winning that, but that would be a ton of fun. So something like that. I mean, I understand why he wants to go up there because he has no path to a title shot at 45. So I get it. We'll see when Mobzar and Volk are going to be scheduled. I heard it was maybe September. I'm going to pick Volk, but that's like a 55-45 fight, in my opinion. I would not be surprised if Evlo got it done at all. So, I mean, yeah, the White House card was such a big milestone moment. I just wanted to touch on it a little bit. Um, then that next weekend you had Kopp versus Horiguchi. I thought Kyoji Horiguchi would look really good until he just didn't. Kopp landed something big when Horiguchi kind of got a little bit lazy with that backhand. Um, and then he got him out of there. I mean, fair play to Manel Kopp. He is power for days ever since his, let's just say nicely, his body has changed. I like Manel Kopp though. So, I mean, it happens in the sport, unfortunately. It is what it is, only so much of a stand you can take, quote unquote. So it is what it is, man. He looked good though when he needed to. And then I threw in Navajo Sterling defeating Kutalaba via TKO. Just another competent light heavyweight, stuff we need in the division, really. Navajo Sterling is, I don't know if he's going to be a title challenger, or I could see him maybe being a title challenger. I don't know if he's going to be like a titleist, but I think he's going to be a competent top 15, top 10 light heavyweight for a good long while. He's got the skills, he's got the fundamentals. I like what I've seen from him. So I just wanted to throw that in there. He passed the Kutalaba test, which doesn't guarantee you're going to be a stud, but it means you know how to control yourself in a fight. You know how to keep your wits about you. So fair play to him. Next up, this next week, I mean, fair play to Rafael Fiziev to find that willingness, because he hasn't looked that great recently. I mean, not so much to his like against him. It's just obviously Gaethje is a champ. Tough fight. Lost twice to him. I mean, difficult. He looked good in both of them at moments, especially the first one. The first one he arguably won. Second one I don't think he won. But tough, tough to lose twice in that manner. And then get knocked out by Hoofy. His knee going out against Gamrot. I mean, he's just had a really rough go of it. But he was able to get Manuel Torres out of there, hit a spinning wheel kick. Looked good in the first round as well. So good for him. Excited to see who he's up against next. He's still going to be always a small 55er. I don't know if he's ever really going to have that title upside, but he's a fun banger. So get him in there with some guys who are going to give him fun fights. That's what I say. I threw Shara Bullet defeating Michelle Pereira in there. I mean, I think there's got to be a decision made on Shara, because obviously he can only fight in Abu Dhabi. And, I mean, he's kind of not a very fun fighter to watch, in my opinion. That was a very boring fight. He's capable of fun finishes, but his fights are always just kind of pitter patter. I don't see him having that crazy high upside, especially after MVP did what he did to him. Just kind of solved him, and it was boring as well. But he didn't have anything for MVP, so I don't know. I'm not saying cut him, but maybe give him someone that's going to push the fight, because I'm sure they thought Pereira would, but that was not fun. Yeah, I threw that in there. Asu Almabayev looked fantastic. Took care of Charles Johnson. Looked good on the feet as well. Suluev stretch to finish it off was nasty as well. And his only loss in the UFC is to Manel Kopp via, I mean, he was losing, but kind of via eye pokes, if we're going to be honest. So that's a rough. Well, I don't want to say via eye pokes. There's an eye poke or two strung in there, so that's kind of BS. It wasn't called. Like I said, he was already losing, so it's not like he was winning and then that happened. But still a tough break. So I still think he has a really high upside, especially if he's going to show improved striking from here on out, where he can look good. He could keep himself safe on the feet until he can get that takedown. That's only going to work wonders for his upside, really. Spell good news. And then this next card, after taking the fourth off, this is where we get down and dirty with it. Luke Riley taking on Kai Kamaka the third. Luke Riley is, in my opinion, a pretty highly touted prospect. He's looking really good so far. That last fight, I know people were complaining about, but he's got a certain style where if you're able to kind of take the blows, it's gonna make him, I don't want to say look bad, but kind of struggle a little bit at times. I think he still overall clearly won that fight. I saw some people saying he lost. I just disagree with that. He's got a very winnable fight here. Kai Kamaka's 2-2-1 in the UFC overall. I believe this is his return. He did beat Dakota Hope here in I think it was April? Yeah. So he's just coming off a fight a couple months ago. I think Luke Riley as well is on a similar timeline. I got Luke Riley taking him out. If I'm being honest, probably gonna knock him out. Let's go second round TKO Luke Riley taking out Kai Kamaka. I think it's going to be a banger, though. Kai Kamaka is going to bring the fight. Maybe try to take him down if he needs to, but I don't know if he's much of a wrestler, but that's just what he might be forced to do. So Luke Riley, I got him taking him out of there in the second round. Cody Garbrandt versus Adrian Yanez. I couldn't put the Enye over the N. I got Yanez boxing him up. Garbrandt's gonna, look cool in the first 2 minutes. He's gonna throw that big overhand. He's gonna, hit the good footwork. Do this, whoop, whoop, and then do this. Look over to the side, and then 2 minutes is gonna go off. Fight's gonna settle in, and Yanez is gonna start popping him with that jab, and Garbrandt's gonna get stopped in the second round, unfortunately. It's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate tale for his MMA career, really, because he's ever since those losses to Dillashaw, he just has not been the same fighter. And in recent fights, kind of since that Font fight where he just got his face jabbed off for 5 rounds, he's been kind of unwilling to engage. I mean, that last fight against Xiao Long, Long Xiao, I think it was. I mean, he won because the guy hit him with low blows, and he lost points. And then the third round is kind of just gifted to him. Unfortunately, I mean, I don't want to say unfortunately. I was cheering for Cody, but he didn't really do anything, and they gave him the round. So I don't know about that. He just hasn't looked good recently, and Yanez, he got robbed against Ricky Simone. No other way to put it. So I think he's going to jab his face off, get him out of there in the second round. Gable Stevenson, I didn't even put in Alicia Ellison. No disrespect to him if he's seeing this. I don't, got nothing against you. Just I don't really know what to say. I don't think there's any real chance of him winning. They have him there for a reason. I just, I'm glad they took him off the main card. I know when they initially advertised this, they had him on the main card. I'm glad the uproar got them to change that because it's going to be a mauling, and he's got nothing for him. Gable Stevenson's going to get him out of there. I mean, it's a joke. I understand he has limited MMA experience, so you got to get him ring time. But what's this going to get him? 30 seconds? 45 seconds? I'd be thoroughly surprised if he lost. And it would kind of simply be because the lights were too bright. And I've heard a story or two, and obviously they're just stories, from some Jackson Wink guys that he doesn't like to get punched. So if that's true, then maybe there is something to that. I don't think Alicia Ellison will be the guy we'll find out that, but maybe down the road, who knows? I mean, that's the thing with wrestlers. Some wrestlers, you don't get punched until you're that way older when you transition MMA, so you're just not going to be used to it. It's just human nature, unfortunately. But yeah, Gable Stevenson, first round destruction. Robert Whittaker and Nikita Krylov. Robert Whittaker making his light heavyweight debut. This is a fight and a half. I mean, Krylov is a really fun fighter. I think he's too awkward. And I thought, you might be thinking, oh, he's too awkward. He's going to get rid of Whittaker. No. Too awkward for his own good. Whittaker, he's just technically superior in pretty much every way. He's a little bit smaller, obviously. Well, a good bit smaller. But he's going to have that extra weight. I think he's going to be able to crack it. I think he's still going to be faster than Krylov. And when Krylov does some, weird spinning technique, he's got his hands low. Whittaker's going to be able to crack him with some slick shit. I think he's going to get him out of there at the end of the first round. I got Whittaker KO TKO round 1. Should be fun, though, while it lasts. I think Krylov, if he's able to win, he's going to be able to take him down and kind of bully him around. So there's certainly a chance of that. I don't think it's a lock for Whittaker, but I think Whittaker is going to be too fast for him, in my opinion. Then we're on to the main card. Bobby Green versus Terrence McKinney. I got Terrence McKinney, KO TKO round 1. Probably going to land something big early because Bobby's got his hands down. I bet Bobby's going to land something clean too. Terrence will kind of eat it because he's got a good chin early. It's when he starts to get tired that he can't really take the shots. I think Terrence will eat it. Either get a takedown, like blast double, or he's going to land something, then Bobby will fall. Terrence will just kind of pour it on him, and he's going to get him out of there probably in a minute or two. But the exchanges while they last are going to be exciting. Don't take your eyes off the TV. I certainly will not. I'm locked in for that. I got Terrence McKinney. I think it's done in the first round either way. If Bobby lands something clean early and Terrence can't take it, Bobby's going to get that knockout. So, yeah, I got Terrence McKinney, KO TKO round 1. Should be fun, though. A whole lot of fun. It might be the most fun other than McGregor Holloway just because there's a chance that happens there, too. Then Brandon Royval versus Lonnie Kavanaugh. Man, Royval's my boy, but I'm nervous. He hasn't improved his striking defense much at all. Really, it just hasn't really been there the way you'd expect. Because he's obviously learned his lesson, you'd think, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe he works on it a ton. I'm not gonna say he's not a hard worker. He certainly looks like it. I follow him on Instagram. Looks like he's in the gym very often. But sometimes you work on it all the time, and then when the lights are bright, it's go time. You go back to your instinct. So who knows what in that regard? But yeah, I think Lonnie Kavanaugh is gonna land something big, and I think he's gonna get him out of there in the second round. I think Royval is gonna kind of box his head off early, and then he's gonna get a little bit too comfortable. Throw a big knee up the middle. Kavanaugh's going to slip out the way, land a hook or something, get him out of there. And that's unfortunate for me as a Royval fan, but I like Kavanaugh, so not like I dislike the guy. So doesn't really matter my feelings. I think Lonnie Kavanaugh is going to KO TKO round two is my pick. Then rematch from I believe 7 years ago, Corey Sandhagen versus Mario Bautista. This is going to be a fun one. Uh, Man, it is a difficult pick. I think, in my opinion, it's a decision either way. I see a 29-28 split, like a legitimate split where it's wow, who won that second round? We'll say, for example, I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Corey 1-2, Bautista 3, because Bautista's gonna push that pace, and in that third round, he's gonna probably take over, in my opinion. So that second round is gonna be the big one. I know Corey adjusts as well, so I don't think he's going to necessarily gas by the third round. But I mean, there's also a chance that Sandhagen could kind of figure him out, take that first round off to get his timing down, get that second and third. So kind of difficult to pick the rounds, but let's just say Sandhagen 29-28 in my opinion. I could easily see Bautista winning this. This is a 52-48 in my opinion. That is how close I see this. I just think Bautista's improved so much that I don't think Sandhagen's just going to be able to get him out of there that quick, and it'll be very, very impressive if he can. So fair play to him if that's the case. Um, Co-main event: Benoit Saint Denis taking on Paddy Pimblett. I mean, this is a banger. BSD is all about war. Paddy Pimblett's going to bring it too. I mean, people confuse him. He ain't afraid to scrap. He's not afraid to put that chin on the line. I'm going to go Paddy Pimblett via sub too. I think the first round, Benoit might take him down, kind of overwhelm him a little bit. I'm not going to say he like hurts him bad on the feet, but I could see him maybe landing something clean, getting Paddy to back up against the cage, and then Benoit ducks down on a double, takes him down, controls him for a little bit. But Paddy, I think, is a better grappler, so I think he's going to be able to stay safe. Maybe throw some stuff up, and then Benoit might be thinking, okay, well, I can at least stay on top. Second round, Paddy's gonna kind of get his feet under him in the striking. He's gonna land something clean. He doesn't have the highest power, so I don't think he's the best. I shouldn't say highest power like it's a video game. He doesn't have the most power in his hands, but I could see him landing something clean, kind of clipping Benoit, getting his attention, saying, "All right, let's go for that takedown." Paddy's in on a gilly. I got him via sub two, guillotine, something like that, maybe a triangle choke. Um, I got him subbing him out though. I think he's the superior grappler, and there's a definite path to victory. Moicano showed it. I just don't think Paddy's quite the wrestler that Moicano is. So I don't know if he's going to get that takedown early because he's a judoka. But so is Benoit Saint Denis. They're both black belts, so kind of difficult path there. But I could see Paddy, stuffing a takedown and kind of subbing him out there that way. So Paddy Pimblett via sub two. I'm going to take myself off here I'm going to take myself out because it's Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway. Absolute banger of a rematch, 13 years in the making. I was in the way of that. So let's go ahead and fix that up right away. McGregor, first time back since 2021 of July. So it's going to be about, I think, almost exactly 5 years to the day that he'll return off a brutal radial fracture in his lower leg. There's no other way to put it. There's never been an athlete that's recovered the exact same, other than like maybe Paul George. So obviously we know McGregor was on some special stuff to get himself back to normal. So maybe that'll help a little bit. But tough to know. It's tough to know because McGregor he's always relied on reflexes, having that cage time, being ready to go at all times. And he obviously hasn't fought in 5 years. And seeing from what's been on in the news and what he's been up to via his own, reporting, he ain't been in the gym. So it's pretty fucking hard to pick him to beat Max Holloway. I'm not going to do it. But I think the things that work into McGregor's favor, 170. I don't see Holloway's power carrying up there. I think his power carried up slightly to 155. I think it looked better at 155. But 170 is another entirely new weight class. McGregor's a bigger guy than him. Not so much. I think he's shorter, but he's wider. He's just kind of bigger. So it's going to favor McGregor more because I think McGregor's going to keep his speed up to 170. We'll see how Holloway's speed is going to look himself. I think he'll have okay power, but I don't think he's going to have enough power. Like, I don't think his power is going to translate at the same it did to 150. 155 is what I'm saying. McGregor, we know his power is going to carry. So that's going to be in McGregor's favor. Holloway has been knocked out recently-ish. I think it was the end of 23. Let's check that. Sorry about that. Nope, end of 24, October 2024. Holloway got stopped by Topuria. Topuria is obviously another level of hitter and was landing incredibly clean. But Holloway's chin hasn't quite looked the same. He fought Poirier, kind of got hurt once or twice. I mean, he got dropped. So he also got dropped against Gaethje, which was earlier in 2024. So his chin is not indestructible anymore. That's Conor McGregor's path to victory. I think he has about a 15% chance, maybe a 20% chance. He's got to land clean early, and he's got to just overwhelm him and get him out of there. I don't think he's going to knock him out cold, but I think there's a small chance that if he lands a clean left hand, takes him off his feet, he could overwhelm him with, the punches, stop him. But I just don't see that happening. My prediction, how I see the fight going, I think McGregor will land something, just not clean. I think it'll be kind of like, he'll have his hands up and it'll land like here while he's trying to block it. So he's expecting it, but it'll still land on the chin. I think McGregor will try to jump on it. And then I think eventually, that first round will be McGregor's, but that second round, Holloway's just going to start. And by the end of the first, really, I think he's going to start landing that jab at will because McGregor doesn't have that cage time. Not going to be used to slipping, parrying the jab, getting your hands up. He's not going to be ready for that. I don't think once he's tired. I think initially he'll be on point. Once he starts to get tired, which the way he operates, the level he operates, he'll be tired by the 4th or 5th minute. So I think Holloway's going to get him out of there. I'm going to go start of the 3rd round. I think the 2nd round is going to be kind of a beating. And McGregor might go for like a takedown towards the very end of the 2nd round to save himself. But then the start of the 3rd, Holloway's going to keep beating him. And then unfortunately, I like, I don't like McGregor much as a person, but I like him as a fighter because I appreciate his style. I think he's going to, I don't want to say quit because that's not the right term for a warrior, but I think he's going to find a way out of there, kind of get stopped against the cage, kind of just going to crumple down from shots, just getting bombarded by Holloway. I think Max Holloway, KO, TKO, or TKO is what I'll say. TKO in the 3rd round. And McGregor will probably either hang it up or fight like Michael Chandler in that April. I honestly think I'm going to pick him to beat Chandler. But we'll see how he looks. I mean, if he gets stopped right away, then we'll see. I just don't think I don't think he's going to be the same. And it's hard to expect someone who suffered a cataclysmic injury like that, a catastrophic is a better word, honestly, injury like that, to be the same. It's hard to expect that. So it is what it is. I think he'll put up a better fight than some people are expecting, but I don't think he's going to win. I don't think he has much of a path to victory, unfortunately, for him. So, yeah, Max Holloway, TKO, 2nd round. Then, predict some of these upcoming UFC fights. We got Dricus du Plessis taking on Kamaru Usman. I'm going to go... Ooh, I really should have put more thought into this. This is a tough one. I'm going to go DDP via TKO in the 3rd round, but I honestly am giving Usman a better shot than I predict some people are. I'm going to go 60-40 DDP. I think Usman has a shot to get this done via decision. Kind of just rest grappling him, but I don't know if he's going to be able to hold him down. I think DDP is going to just be able to land some goofy stuff, maybe hurt him to the body, um, maybe land like just a gnarly overhand that drops him, and then he just kind of TKOs him on the ground. I kind of see it something similar to that. I'm going to go DDP via KO TKO round 3, but truthfully, I'm going to be rooting for Usman, so I hope he gets it done. But I don't know. We'll see. I think he looked good against Buckley for a good amount of it, but in that 5th round when he couldn't get that takedown, he did not look good. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, DDP, KO, TKO round 3. Then you got Jared Cannonier versus CLD. I'm just picking out some fights I wanted to that I'm going to probably predict on my TikTok specifically. I got Christian Leroy Duncan via decision. I think Cannonier is going to be able to survive when he gets hurt. I think CLD is going to be able to hurt him in that 2nd and 3rd. I think Cannonier is going to be dangerous enough in that 1st. Maybe laying some leg kicks, keep him honest in the 1st round with some punches that maybe not land clean or well just on the guard or something, but they're powerful. He can feel it, so he'll stay honest. Yeah, but I think CLD is going to win a decision. I think that 2nd and 3rd round, he's going to be able to work the clinch. He's going to be able to land body shots, spinning elbows. He's gonna hurt him, I think, a couple times. But Cannonier's got good recovery instincts. But me saying that also wouldn't be surprised if he got him out of there. So CLD via decision. Then you got Kevin Holland versus Jacob Smith. I think it's Jacob. It might be Jacoby. I might be tripping. Um, I'm gonna go with Kevin Holland. You don't if you don't get rid of Nico Price like pretty much instantly at this point, I don't know about your future. And obviously there's time. There's been time since then. There's been a fight, I believe, in between, maybe 2. So there's been time since then, but that's just difficult for me to pick you over Kevin Holland, who I just saw kind of piece up Randy Brown, kind of make him look like an amateur. So I'm gonna go Kevin Holland via. Let's go KO TKO round 3. I think he's gonna get him out of there late. Then this one, I saw some other fighters I recognized, but I wasn't confident in their opponent, and I didn't have time because I'm starting a new job, so I'm all over the place with my schedule. So I just didn't have time to get enough film where I'd feel confident picking their fights. So hopefully on my TikTok I'll have time to do that. But as of now, I just don't. But main event pick, Magomed Ankalaev. First fight since he kind of got bullied by Pereira, kind of got taken out of there easily. He's going to be taking on Khalil Roundtree, who I believe, if I remember correctly, his last contest was against Jamal Hill, where he looked fantastic against seemingly washed Jamal Hill. No, I'm tripping. He is coming off getting stopped by Yuri Prohaska, where he looked. Same thing when kind of applies though. Looked fantastic for 2 rounds. That 3rd round, Yuri Prohaska kind of just said, nah, and then just walked him down, took the shots, and got him out of there. So rough for him to take that, but it's good for him to know that he looked good. He didn't just get bullied right away. 2 ways this goes. If Ankalaev is mentally affected by the way that Alex Pereira fight went, where he just got walked down, and Khalil Roundtree kind of employs the similar game plan, I got Roundtree via KO TKO 1. I'm going to be honest with you, though. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Ankalaev is going to submit him in the 3rd round. I think he's going to go more into his grappling. I should actually change that round because I was going to say that Roundtree is going to be able to survive. I don't know if he's going to be able to survive if he gets him down. So I'm going to go Magomed Ankalaev via submission round 1. I know he's not like constantly getting submissions, but I think he's going to. The way that fight went against Pereira, the way his coaching, he's got good coaching. I think they're going to drill it in his head. You got to grapple. You got to get him out of there early, and I think he's going to sub him in the 1st round. So Magomed Ankalaev via submission round 1. If Roundtree can stay up, I think he'll stop him, though, if I'm going to be honest. I don't know when, but I think he's a far superior striker, in my opinion. I think Ankalaev's got good basics, but Roundtree's got the basics and more. So that's my opinion. Then I believe this is the August 1st card. We got Uros Medic taking on Daniel Rodriguez, D-Rod in the main event. I got Uros Medic via KO TKO 1. I think he's going to overwhelm him like he has been doing to his previous opponents and just kind of blitz him. At one point, he's going to land like a head kick around the guard, hurt him bad, stop him with punches on the ground via ground and pound. That's how I got this going. Then you got Jan Blachowicz versus Bogdan Guskov. Tough. As a Jan fan, tough that they're just putting him right back into a rematch of this fight. But I think the time off and the age is just gonna keep catching up, and I think they're gonna give him this fight no matter how it goes. So I got Bogdan Guskov via decision 29-28. I think Jan will look good early and he'll just start to tire because I believe if I remember correctly, Jan is 42. Let's check that just to make sure. He's 43. So yeah, I got Bogdan Guskov via decision. I will be cheering hard for Jan though. Then I decided to throw this in because I think this is a great move for Rakic. Heavyweight debut, Alexander Rakic taking on Marcin Tybura. I got Alexander Rakic via KO TKO 1. I think he's going to be way too fast. He might, he's going to have to be on his P's and Q's because obviously we know his chin's not quite there and he's going to be, hopefully he's not going to cut weight or anything. He's going to be fighting near his, he's probably right around 225, 230. I like that weight for him. I think he's going to be too quick, too powerful for Tybura. I think he's going to land some kicks, get him out of there. KO TKO 1, Rakic. I think this is a great career move for him. Then, on to the other sport. It's boxing time. It's boxing time. Let's go. This is my personal favorite. I love MMA too, though, so I hope I still came across with the same passion. But we'll just go back in time. Some of these we're just going to be talking about the main events. That's why I wanted to start with MMA. We started off with, I believe this was June 13th, Bam Rodriguez moving up to challenge the champion, I believe, at Bantamweight 118, Antonio Vargas. Bam Rodriguez looked so incredible. I mean, I don't want to make it quick. He doesn't deserve just a quick one, but there's not much else to say. He keeps getting better somehow, and his power is translating every weight class he goes up to. He's so good at mixing in the head and the body. He never forgets about the body. He's got traps. He's pulling on the, he's got every trick in the book. He's so talented, and I'm praying that him and Naoya Inoue can be made. I just saw some reports that apparently Tank Davis messaged him to fight. I guess. I mean, I'd rather them set up that Inoue fight, in my opinion. But whatever happens, he's a superstar. He's a top 5 pound for pound boxer, and he deserves big fights. So whatever's gonna get him to big fights, I'm in on. Then this fight happened, I believe, on a Tuesday night, if not a Wednesday night. Lewis Crocker defended his IBF welterweight title against Liam Paro. And Liam Paro, despite, some troubles throughout the fight, he started to kind of take over with the jab and some good, clean technique, good basics. He roughed him up when he needed to. He fought, actually, my bad, I mixed that up. He got roughed up by Crocker a bit, but he fought back when he needed to. He roughhoused back when he needed to. He just nicked it, in my opinion. 7-5. Not to sound like a Brit, but he just nicked it. 7-5, Liam Paro, in my opinion. Good fun, it was dirty, but I thought it was a good fight. Liam Paro is now a 2-weight world champion. It's good for him that he's with the IBF because some of these vultures at welterweight are going to kind of avoid it because of the weight restrictions on the rehydration. So hopefully somebody is willing to, unify with him. But I wouldn't be surprised if one of these guys who's not super big kind of takes him out. Unfortunately for him, I think he's kind of like a B+ welterweight, but that's what I saw Lewis Crocker was. So good for him, man. 2-weight world champion. Nobody could take that away from him. He's now kind of like an Aussie legend, if we're being honest. So good for him. Big fight coming up next, if you ask me. I'm excited to see who it'll be against. No idea, obviously, because this was recent. Who knows? Should be fun. I mean, good for him. Good for him. I mean, welterweight's a fun weight division. Let's get these titles unified. Devin Haney, we got Rolly Romero defending against Teofimo Lopez in August. We'll talk about that on the next roundup. That should be fun. Then this fight happened 2 weekends ago. Boots Ennis I mean, what else can you say? Taking on Xander Zayas, who was a or a two belt champion at 154. Just first of all, a very questionable. We'll start off with this very questionable plan employed from Xander Zayas. I'm assuming that was not their game plan in the camp. So he decided to abandon it on the night and went to war with Boots Ennis, which, listen, in the third round, he clipped him a bit. I semi agree with Boots, who was saying he wasn't hurt. He didn't look too hurt, but he certainly got hurt. I mean, not hurt. Jesus, got his equilibrium touched a bit because he looked a little like, wobbly, but he's right. He was throwing back. He was grabbing. He was throwing back. He was doing some smart things as well. So you can tell he got hit with something clean. I just don't know how hurt he was necessarily. But other than that round, domination from Boots Ennis. He has some of the cleanest, quickest, most powerful combinations you'll see. I saw a rear uppercut to the body, bring it upstairs into that left straight when he switches his feet. Just brutal. Landing clean on Xander Zayas over and over and over again. I can't imagine what the percentages were because they were ridiculous if I remember correctly. Easily over 40% on the power punches. The jab was landing whenever he threw it. He didn't throw it much, if we're being honest. But I mean, a wonderful performance. Boots Ennis is a superstar, and we need him versus Virgil Ortiz. We need him versus Sebastian Fundora. We need these fights. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Josh Kelly, whoever, get him to undisputed. I think he beats them all, in my opinion, and that's what I'll pick. Emiliano Vargas taking on Bryce Mills. I thought Bryce Mills, I don't think he's going to be like a superstar or anything, but I think he was an intriguing prospect. He's shown a willingness to brawl, so a willingness to put his chin on the line. So I like that. Listen, he landed clean on Vargas early a couple times, and Vargas showed a beard. He's got a chin on him just like his dad did, so good for him. Um, and then when he started landing clean, he showed the power and the precision. Got Bryce Mills out of there. Bit of an early stoppage, but it was going to happen. If not that round, next round or the sixth or something, he was landing way too clean. So it is what it is. It's not like he wasn't going to get stopped. So I'm not going to complain about an early stoppage too much. Then Ben Whitaker, the U.S. debut, taking on Richie Rivera. Popeye the Sailor is his nickname. I did not expect this at all. I had Ben Whitaker via decision, but I thought Rivera was going to come on down late the stretch and then make Whitaker kind of look a little bad down the stretch. But no, Whitaker showed the power and the precision, dropped him in the first, dropped him again hard in the second, and prompted the stoppage. Ref stopped it a little bit early, in my opinion, but once again, I think he was getting stopped either way because every time Whitaker landed clean, his eyes were like rolling back and he was falling. Like it was bad. Whitaker's got power. So excited for him. They're talking title in 2027. So hopefully these step ups are going to come. Maybe we get Joshua Buatsi or something. I'm excited to watch him fight, though. He is the surgeon for a reason. He is precise. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say about him. Excited to see his next fight. Hopefully, it's sometime in like September, October. We don't got to wait too long. Hopefully. Then that Sunday, Rayo Valenzuela taking on Edwin De Los Santos. Opposite game plan I predicted. I thought Rayo was going to be on his bike boxing. Nope, brawled pretty much off the rip on Edwin De Los Santos' invitation, and he was landing way cleaner in that second round. He landed a nasty lead hook, knocked him out. Bit of a late shot on the ground. Didn't love that, but he also got hit late on the ground by Edwin De Los Santos, so maybe that was purposeful. And if that's the case in those terms, is what it is. Still don't love it, but what are you gonna do? What a nasty knockout, though. I mean, Rayo for Zuffa Boxing, he's starting to build himself up. I don't know what Zuffa's planning, like with the belts and stuff. So we'll see. Hopefully he can. I don't know. I mean, fight one of these big names or something. We'll see what's happening, though. I'm not entirely sure. Then this past weekend, Abdullah Mason taking down his former sparring partner in Albert Bell, a 6-foot lightweight. So a very difficult stylistic challenge who obviously knows some of, his favorite combination. He's going to, the sparring partners, they're going to know each other at least a little bit. So took Abdullah Mason quite a while. Those first 6 rounds were a bit off for him. I think that second round he got, so it's not like he got blanked, but he did not look great. And then down the stretch, he displayed the clutch gene he needed to. He found the avenue, which was kind of overwhelming him, just dipping inside, getting inside, throwing a flurry, getting him to back up against the ropes where he could start to unload and make that reach a little bit more negligible and keep his P's and Q's on about the jabs and the straights, but still land to the body big shots and get him to cover up. So Abdullah Mason looked fantastic down the stretch. What he needed to do, heart of a champion. He's a stud. Um, he keeps putting together performances like that. It's going to be hard to not call him the future of the sport. I'm very close to that. He's going to be an absolute champion for the next 10 years. I mean, whatever weight class, he's going to keep growing, obviously. I think he's like 21 or 23, somewhere in that range. Let me check that really fast. He is 22. So there you go. Still so much time in his career. Then Shushu Carrington defeating Renee Palacios via decision. I thought Shushu looked good, so nothing really negative to say about it. I just wanted to kind of echo Bud Crawford's point. I was kind of waiting for him to step on the gas and kind of get him out of there down the stretch, but just didn't really happen. He got hurt with a body shot late, so maybe that kind of changed his tune, which, I mean, I understand if you don't want to brawl when you're, vulnerable to get knocked out. So you got to do what you got to do to win. So I'm not going to take too many points away, but I would have loved for him to step on the gas and get a guy like that out of there because he's going to be unifying against some elite competition. So I would love to see him show that extra gear. But once again, wasn't a bad performance. I'd give it an A or an A minus. So I'm not going to complain about that. And then Tiger Johnson defeating Christopher Guerrero, battle of the undefeateds. I thought Tiger Johnson looked really good. Christopher Guerrero didn't really have much for him. And Tiger Johnson's got, I think he's legit. Maybe not in terms of like title ASAP, but, keep moving him up the ladder. I think he's got some skill. So good for him, man. Good win. Then these are in the end of July. Not too much happening these next 2 weeks, unfortunately, in boxing. There was going to be a Tony Yoka taking on Murat Gassiev, but Yoka had to pull out, so that kind of sucks. But these two tune-up fights, I mean, not much to either of them, especially the Fury one. Mariusz Wach, I don't really know how to say his first name, hasn't competed since he was in a 3-on-1 MMA bout. And then Josh was taking on a kickboxer in Franca. So, I mean, hell, if he's going to take after Verhoeven, then Joshua's got to be on his P's and Q's. But they both have to because it's heavyweight, but you get my point. Obviously, I got both of them winning whenever they choose to, really. But, I mean, this is just kind of a chance to discuss the fight. Really hoping it doesn't happen in America. And if it's going to happen in Britain, it should be on British time. These are British heavyweights. We will make the sacrifice. It should be at Wembley, prime time in Britain. Get all the fans you can in there, get 100,000 plus in there, and you pack that sucker full of boxing fans, of passionate boxing fans. That's what it should be about. But all these reports about they want to stage it at 2 a.m. in Britain, which they're not going to do that. So they're going to have to move it to the U.S. and it's Britain's fault. They're going to blame that crap. So that's a load of crap. But hoping somehow stuff can pull through that way. Early prediction, I have reserved the right to change, especially if something happens in these tune-ups that changes my mind. I got AJ taking Fury out in like the 9th or the 10th. I think Fury's kind of been a little bit more susceptible to getting tired and losing his fundamentals. Arslanbek Makhmudov is not going to take advantage of that. Mariusz Wach is not going to take advantage of that. I think AJ might be able to take advantage of that with like a long right hand and just hurt Fury bad. And then Fury's not going to be able to recover the same because he hasn't been fighting the same. I think maybe his spirit's been taken out ever so slightly by Usyk. I don't think he's a bad boxer. I think it's a 51-49 in my opinion. I'm a fan of both these guys, so it's not like I'm an AJ fan and I hate Fury or something. I actually like both of them. So, hell, you want the truth? Maybe I'm biased towards Fury. I scored the first Fury-Usyk fight to Fury. So, there you go. For proof either way. But, yeah, I think this is a much-needed heavyweight fight. It has to happen before these guys retire. So, please, everything that is holy. And I believe this is the last one. Yep. Lamont Roach taking on William Zepeda for the WBC Lightweight Championship. This is Lamont Roach's time. He's been screwed over 2 straight fights. Tank Davis, he deserved that decision in my opinion. Clearly, I mean, I understand a draw, but he definitely shouldn't have lost. He didn't lose. It was a draw, but it was clear. I had an 8-4 for Roach, so kind of thought he got screwed there. Esau Cruz, I believe I had it either 7-5 or 8-4 for Roach. Thought he got screwed there as well. I believe it was another draw. So he's just not the darling, unfortunately. But I'm hoping his star is going to continue to grow because I think he's going to beat Williams Zepeda, but I think it's going to be competitive. I think it's going to be a little bit more competitive than that Shakur Stevenson fight. I think it's going to be a 7-5, 8-4 in Lamont Roach's favor, just like those others. He just needs the judges on his side. So I could see another draw, unfortunately. But they need a champion. So I'm going to go 115, 113 Lamont Roach. I think he's going to box his head off in moments and really make it look clear. So I'm hoping that's what happens. Then you got Raymond Murataya defending his lightweight championship against Robson Conceição. I believe it's the WBA, I believe. Let's make sure I don't mix that up. He is the IBF title champion. My apologies. He's going to be defending against Robson Conceição. I think Conceição, I think he's a quality boxer. I think Murataya's got a little bit more tricks in the bag and is a little bit more crafty. I got Murataya via decision. I think he's going to kind of just bully him at times. And Conceição's not going to, I don't think he's going to be able to fight back as often and as effectively as he had been previously. So I got Raymond Murataya via decision. And then that should call it. Thank you for tuning in. Going to be doing this monthly or bi-monthly, as I said, in case big months, a lot of good fights, like October's, for example, or November or whatever. Excited to keep this going. These are my first loves, combat sports, boxing and MMA. In terms of the hierarchy, I got that. Then, the other team sports are kind of mixing and mingling. But this is what I really love. This is what I practice in my free time as well. So I love to share what I love about the sport and break down fights. So excited to keep this going. I'll also be breaking down storylines in case, there's some big overarching storylines in case the lightweight division is really heating up in boxing. Oh, middleweight division in UFC, there's a title cluster. Where should we match these guys up? I can do things like that as well, and I'm planning to, but right now it's a little bit slower than you'd think. I just wanted to jump in, really talk about that Conor card, get in on that hype. So, it's been your boy BDT Athletics. Combat Sports Roundup, Episode 1 completed. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.